Life must be understood backward, but it must be lived forward. Why was this quote said? In this episode, we find out the backstory behind this fantastic quote. The quote was coined by Soren Kierkegaard, a Danish theologian, philosopher, poet, social critic, and religious author. To understand why Kierkegaard coined this quote, we must know about who he was as a person and his history. Soren Kierkegaard was born in 1813 and grew to be a devoted Christian. However, he struggled heavily with Christianity. His struggles weren't due to a lack of faith, but due to issues he had with organized religion and how the church would stifle an individual's ideals with belief. He believed that faith was rooted with struggle, sacrifice, and a deep relationship with God, where the church catered to Sunday Christians who merely saw Christianity as a social ritual. He also struggled with ethics and existentialism and wrote works on these. Because of his works, he has been known as the father of existentialism. It's 1837, and Kierkegaard meets Regine Olsen. The two begin a relationship and both fell deeply in love. Olsen has become Kierkegaard's muse, appearing repeatedly in his work and writes extensively about her in his journals. Now, it's 1841, and the two are engaged, and the couple are still deeply in love. However, Kierkegaard breaks off the engagement himself. He writes in his journal that the reason he ended the relationship was because he was unsuitable for marriage due to his personality. Claiming that his melancholy nature would cause problems for Olsen, he also thought that him being frequently ill meant that he would die early in life, leaving Olsen as a widow. Kierkegaard regrets this decision. He is still in love with Olsen and will still use her as inspiration for his works, something that he will explore even more deeply after the breakup. Fast forward to 1843, 2 years after the breakup. Kierkegaard writes 3 important and highly successful works this year: Either Or, Fear and Trembling, and Repetition. The 3 works involve the love and loss with Olsen and the effect it had on him, his struggles with religion, and also his personal choices. All 3 seem to struggle with inner conflict. During this year, Kierkegaard opens his journal named JJ167 and writes the quote, which is the inspiration for this video. Life must be understood backward, but it must be lived forward. This quote is actually the short version. It was originally written in a longer form. It is perfectly true, as philosophers say, that life must be understood backwards. But they forget the other proposition, that it must be lived forwards. A proposition which, if it were really true, would make life very difficult for one who forgot it. Kierkegaard didn't always date his journals, so there might not be a way of finding when this entry was written. But as it was written in the same year as the previously mentioned works, it's believed that the quote was written whilst thinking of his relationship with Olsen and his misery due to his actions, plus the choices he has made due to existentialism. The quote is a reflection of his life and what he could have done in hindsight, but that no matter what has happened in the past, we have no choice but to make decisions and move forwards in life. It is a battle between reflection and action, conflict and resolution, past and future. After 1843, Kierkegaard continued his writing and built on his success, but he still struggled with battles with Christianity and the church. And his broken engagement with Regine Olsen. Due to the latter, he never pursued another relationship. He also became socially isolated, withdrawing from the literary community and disliked his fame. Kierkegaard died in 1855, at the young age of 42. He faced hardship in many aspects of life, emotionally, physically, religiously, and existentially. But he left a lasting legacy and went on to become one of the most influential philosophers in several fields since his passing. His ideas laid the groundwork for modern existentialism and influenced countless thinkers, theologians, and writers. His honesty, depth, and introspection continue to resonate today.